I want to ask, how did you hear about Adopt a Vet?
Uh, Through a friend.
Through a friend?
I believe so, but it was a couple of years ago. And I applied online, everything. I didn't come into the office, but I'd called and they says, yeah, you're on the list. So then I heard it through another friend, VA, and COVID came in, and I'm going, you know what? I'll bet you everybody's scared to go over there. So I called and got what do you call that? The first meeting within 2 days after I called.
So that was pretty quick. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
time, that time. Before there was a waiting list.
Yeah. So let me ask you, how was your life prior to Adopt a Vet? How was your health and your day-to-day challenge? Like what were there any challenges? Do you have full
With yeah,
dentures?
I
Okay.
no, just uppers,
Upper denture? Okay.
and then a partial in the
Okay.
lower.
Did you have any issues eating?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It was at one point I was chewing on one side, and at another point I was chewing on the other because the teeth just kept on. Uh, it, it started years ago, 25 years ago, and I've been living with this for 25 years. And it started with the front tooth, a fight, of course, was knocked out. And then they tried to put in a bridge. That bridge didn't last. And then they tried to put in another bridge, a 5 point bridge. That bridge didn't last. And then I was left with no front teeth and a huge bill just to even get seen by a dentist. I mean, they wanted at least 5 grand down anywhere I went. And I was raising two boys on my own. And I just didn't have the money
Right.
to fork out 5 grand right there,
Right.
right then.
Yeah. Dental's expensive. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Um, so we gave you a full upper and a lower partial.
Yep.
How is your day to day now? Now that you've got a complete smile.
It's good. I don't go anywhere because of COVID, so I don't get a lot of reaction, And then when you do, you got to wear this.
Mhm.
Um, so uh, it's better. I'm learning. The thing is right now I'm learning how to chew, and I do bite every once in a while. I'll bite something, you know, on the inside of the gums.
Yeah.
But that's just learning how to chew and how to chew your food, and what's not going to make it go tippy on you when you chew.
Right. Right.
So smaller bites, uh, which I learned, take smaller bites. Doesn't you don't have to
Nice. Nice.
do that. So it's been better. I mean, uh, it's just I'm learning how to eat things again. So
Now, is there
I'm getting
something
there.
that you're able to eat now that you weren't able to eat prior to Adopt a Vet? Like a lot of veterans, like they miss corn on the cob. Like that's really hard to eat
I
when you don't have.
I still could.
Did you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I could chew on the side.
Um,
I get my mouth. There's
Steaks was a hard one for a
which
lot. Steak,
dates?
steak,
Oh,
meat.
steak.
Yeah.
No problem there.
Yeah, okay.
But it was only two teeth that I was chewing it on. It was like,
Little tiny bites, then,
yeah,
right? Okay. So you got lucky then.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I haven't got me a steak yet.
Okay.
I have had, I haven't had it like a McDonald's. I've been craving that because you can just.
Right.
But I have had hamburgers at home, which has been just excellent, and they fit uh, almost like a glove.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just amazed. I've heard a lot of complaints about oh, they don't fit right, or I got to go back in for an adjustment.
In the anatomy, we usually adjust. That's amazing.
But I had a good doctor, and
Dr. Roll.
yeah, and he did like 2 or 3 fittings for
Hmm.
me, and because he says your mouth is changing, I want to do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's very thorough.
yeah.
Yeah. How was your experience inside of the clinic with the dentist? And I mean, from from your first moment you walked in, your first appointment to your last, how was all of that for you?
It was great and expedient. Um, Everybody was super friendly, willing to do, and I did have 8 teeth left in the uppers, and they went right along with me. I told them rip them out. I go, I don't want to be going back to the dentist because I put a lot of pressure on these teeth, and I know I weaken
Right.
them. And I said, just rip them out, and that way I don't have to keep taking care of them and just give me dentures.
Yeah.
And my grandmother said it was the best thing she ever did, and she lived to be 100.
Nice. Well, good. I'm glad the clinic experience, the staff has been really great to you. Now let's dig a little bit into your military life. We don't have to get into details if you don't want to, but I do want to let the audience know what branch of service you served and when.
Navy 73 to
And may we
76.
ask what you did in the Navy?
I was a boatswain mate and then a postal clerk on a destroyer, USS Hull DD 945.
Is there, and I always ask this to anybody because there's, you get bored overseas and you get creative. Or some do, when you're sitting there waiting for things. And I always ask if there's like a funny, memorable moment that you remember serving because you get creative and silly and goofy, and I like to share those things. So
Several. I mean, some would take an hour for me to run through.
like we had
Out to sea for 3 to 6 months,
I
and
know
you get crazy. You actually, I would notice the crew starting to be crazy about day 3.
day 3.
Yeah, and just pulling pranks and that kind of
So
stuff.
what kind of pranks? Did you pull any pranks on anybody?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Um, I can't even remember. I just, it's weird stuff like one guy, he'd always, when he talked to you, and this is when they got rid of the draft. I turned in my draft card to get in, and they were accepting everybody.
Uh-huh.
And this one guy was half nuts, and he was from Washington, and he'd always look at the sun when he talked to you.
Hmm.
Always straight on, just look at the sun. And then we just kind of stayed away from him. But one day I was walking up to the forward paint locker where we kept 5-gallon barrels of paint,
Uh-huh.
deck gray and all that other stuff. And there he is, and he's just deep sixing every one of them. And I'm going, what are you doing? And he says, well, if we don't have any paint, we don't have to paint the ship. I go, we'll just, we'll do a highline transfer and we'll have more paint,
Oh my gosh. Nice try.
Yeah,
Nice try.
but
That's awesome.
yeah, it was really that all change was,
Back and then Sri Lanka with the tsunami and
yeah.
so, it gets difficult.
Yeah, I was tail end in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Uh, Out of high school, the second day after graduation, I was in San Diego. By the end of those 90 days, I was at Clark Air Force Base, Philippines, and and then went to Olongapo City, and then boarded my ship, and then we were off the coast of
Yeah.
Nam, uh, which from high school, and 3 months later off the coast of Nam,
That's quite the
it was,
that's a 180.
yeah.
Yeah. So how was that going from high school into adult military mind for you?
I loved it because I wanted to get out of town.
Okay, so it
I,
worked because
I,
some
it,
people can't handle that change mentally, but
I,
you were ready.
I was ready. I knew if I stayed around my hometown, that the people I ran with, sooner or later, we would be in trouble.
Yeah.
So I had,
At what we've done for you, just to kind of
if you're having problems with your teeth, do it. Uh, they're friendly, nice. Doesn't cost you like me, any dentist would have cost me 15 grand. This cost me, when the final bill was, I think, 1100, pretty close to
is
it.
that what it was?
Yeah, and
Yeah. It's probably
And I have never been in a position where I could raise $1,100.